For the final trade of the day, we have pro trader Dan Deming joining us. Dan, you have seen the best of markets and the worst. How do you trade high-flying stocks that are also high risk?
Carefully.
Good answer.
The one thing that, Angie, that needs to be, I think, enunciated right off the top is that when you look at those high velocity stocks where you have the dynamics within the market construct of a high risk, high reward type of scenario, is that should be, again, a bucket of your total allocation or the money that you have, as far as, you should designate X amount of money to that bucket and then stick to that and not allow it to bleed back into your more, what you'd be consider more traditional types of asset allocation or market exposure. So I think it's really important to define exactly how much money you are willing and able to commit to those types of exposure to those stocks. That's the first thing. And then from there, then you have to kind of construct a methodology where you have some pretty decent risk parameters put in place as far as trying to manage the price movement.
How do you control your emotions, Dan? It's awfully tempting to jump into areas of the market that are hot or a stock when it's really rallying.
Sure, it's always tempting because that's the nature of the business. Is that you're trying to capture price movement and take advantage of that price movement to your benefit. And so it is difficult, Angie, because those hot areas, over the years, I went through the .com situation in the 99, 2000, 2001, and I just saw what can happen there with some of the high flyers, and then all of a sudden they just disintegrate. Also now where you're seeing it, some of the medical names or the biotech names and things of that nature. So I think it's important, again, to really dig into what's driving the price movement, understanding it, and also defining what it is your goals are. As the goal shouldn't be just to jump in and hold on for the ride. It should be like, okay, I'm looking for X amount of return, and then maybe I want to think about getting out. Or, again, it's very important that you have that bucket that you're dedicating to that allocation is, again, defined, and it's something that's not going to impact your daily lifestyle or routine.
I love that you're getting candid with us and talking about the .com bomb. What else can you share with us?
Yeah, I hit a few. I watched a few go from basically, what would have appeared to be very valuable to having no value once I checked out. So, yeah, I learned the hard way on some of those names, got caught up into, again, the narrative of looking around and seeing, people basically logging into what was back then called Raging Bull, Angie, which was a website in the early days of the internet. And people were just picking out, you could list four letters and people would just buy it. And then all of a sudden everybody would dive in. So, that's the important lesson here, Angie, is that, a lot of these names are just being influenced by forces outside of what they're able to actually accomplish. So it's really important that as a trader, is my mentality, that you understand that going in, and also understand the dynamics of how the price structure is moving, so that you have, again, defined your kind of entry and exit points ahead of time and not get carried away with the euphoria that you see around you.
Dan, we are always so happy to have you on our show. Every week you give us a great lesson. Thanks so much for being with us, and we'll see you soon.
It's great, Angie. Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity, and looking forward to seeing you as well.
Yeah, check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.